and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Nassau County Chamber of Commerce Candidate Forum. Today we are speaking with our candidates for Superintendent of Schools. My name is Sean McGill. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of the Chamber of Commerce and also a member of our Government Affairs Committee. I'd like to thank you guys all for taking the time to learn more about our candidates. Things are a little different this year. As you all know, with COVID and social distancing, we do not have an audience here. Instead of 20 or 30 people in our office, we've got several cameras. But we are still trying to bring you the best information of all our candidates, and we have invited them here today to share their message with you. Because of COVID, we have to socially distance. We are all over 6 feet apart, so we are not wearing our masks. But I would encourage everyone, when they're outside and in public spaces, to continue to wear your mask to reduce the spread of the disease. We're going to start with a message from each of our candidates. They have up to 5 minutes to introduce themselves to you, and then we will start our questions. In fairness to each of the candidates, each candidate will start one question, and then the next candidate will start the next round of questions. So every candidate will have a chance and an opportunity to answer the question first, and then you guys will also have extra time to think about your answers for your second and third and fourth questions. They'll have 1.5 minutes to answer those questions. We do have a timer behind us that they'll give you guys a 30-second and a 10-second countdown, and then the taser comes out.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce our candidates for Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Dale Braddock,
Thank you.
Dr. Kathy Burns, and Mr. Albert Wagner. So we will get started with Mr. Braddock. If you would, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Sean. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Chamber for the opportunity today. My name is Dale Braddock, and I'm running for the office of School Superintendent. I'm a fifth-generation Nassau Countyan. My roots are here. I've been married to my wife, Carol, who's also a Nassau County teacher, for 46 years. We have 2 children, Bishop and Blake, who are also educators. We have 3 grandchildren. I've spent the majority of my life, 33 years, working with and for the students and parents of Nassau County. I know Nassau County. I worked at Fernandina Beach as director of secondary ed for 4 years, and Hilliard High School as principal, assistant principal for 17 years, and Callahan as a teacher, coach, and athletic director for 12 years. I owned and operated O'Neill General Store for 10 years. I know the heartbeat of Nassau County, and I'm prepared with my experience to lead the school district. My platform is based on 4 issues: overtaxing, trying to raise the property tax 1 mil this year on the property owners and small business owners of Nassau County to cover the overspending issues is not an option before the pandemic, during the pandemic, or after the pandemic. The superintendent was quoted in September of last year. We can ask for half a meal, but I believe if we're asking, we need a whole meal. I do not agree to that. Number 2, overspending. Our school board budget is nearly $200 million. But in March of 2019, financial consultant Jim Hamilton stated that the district must create new revenues by reducing current spending and secure voter approval to increase property tax. If not, the district will spend down the required fund budget and the stability of the district will be put at risk, and it's happening. Number 3, underpaying. Nearly all our employees are underpaid. They deserve a wage increase, just like the governor's done for our first-year teachers. We've been a high-performing district for the past 17 years, since the inception of the school grades. But our teacher salaries rank 37 out of 67 counties, and Florida ranks 45 out of 50 nationally. Number 4, over testing. We as a school district need to spend less time teaching to the test and more time concentrating on the standards. We need to reinstate the advanced classes at our middle and our high schools. We need to expand our vocational technical courses, our apprenticeship programs, and our building trades offerings to our middle and our high schools. We need to improve our SAT and ACT scores. Our scores have dropped for the first time below state average. In closing, I come from a family of servants. My mother, Claudine Braddock, was the first woman to serve on the town council in Callahan for 25 years. My dad, D.P. Braddock, served on the hospital board in the 70s. My wife, Carol, has worked for the Nassau County school system for 47 years. My brother Ron served on Nassau Port Authority. My brother Don was a teacher and coach for many years. My father-in-law Charlie and me served on town council in Callahan. My son Bishop and my daughter Blake are both teachers, as are my nieces, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and son-in-law. I'm asking the voters of Nassau County to go to the polls and vote for me for your next school superintendent. I'm ready for the new challenge. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Braddock. Dr. Burns.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. I've found throughout my career as an educator, spent a lot of time talking to kids. When you talk to kids and students, you really learn what's going on. I've shared this in other places, but recently, before the pandemic, I spent some time talking to middle school boys in a cafeteria, asked them about their school year, but then I asked them what's something great about this year. Their comment was, teachers are teaching and we're learning. That's exactly what we're about in the Nassau County School District. We've worked to create an atmosphere of collaboration throughout our schools and in our district, opportunities for increased planning time, professional learning, mentoring teachers, and leadership development. I've established a Teacher of the Year Roundtable, Superintendent Student Advisory Council, and State of the Schools Council, so that we not only hear from people within our schools and our school community, but as well as our community as a whole. Academic achievement and student success has been the focus of the work that we've done, whether you're preparing for college or a career. From our high achieving students right on down to our students with disabilities, we're training them for life after high school. We've increased technology tools, training, and support for everyone, including technology internships for our students in the Nassau County School District. And now more than ever before, we've accelerated those technology options and opportunities as we are in the midst of the COVID crisis and preparing for the coming year. We've worked to recruit and retain the best teachers. I established an annual recruitment fair along with an semi-annual recruitment fair so that we can recruit teachers from all around the country. We had teachers come from as far away as Washington State. We've increased support for teachers, salaries for teachers, and we have a teacher depot where teachers can go and get supplies for free, because if you know anything about teachers, they never have enough of what they need. We've worked to communicate in our district with our parents and our community. That is something we can always improve upon. We've included the towns, the city, and the county in annual meetings so that we ensure that they know what we're doing and we're sharing ideas. We've built a stronger partnerships in our communities throughout Nassau County with nonprofits, with businesses, and none better than what we did during the recent COVID crisis, providing food to families, computers to families, and continuing to feed families and support them throughout this crisis. Our sense of community continues to grow strong. So how does this all add up? What is our grade in the Nassau County School District? And it's more than a grade, it's about a relationship. We are A-rated school district, we're 4th in the state, we have a 93% graduation rate, and we've increased school safety measures on our campus as well as school security on our campus. We've expanded career and technical opportunities to include electrical apprenticeships in our high schools and entrepreneurship training. We have a Nassau Strong strategic plan that provides us direction and focus on what our priorities are. Experience does count. My experience and track record over the last 4 years demonstrates leadership, collaboration, communication, community, and success. All of this in the wake of hurricanes, new safety mandates, and the current pandemic. Success isn't overnight. It's every day. You work to be a little better than the day before, and it all adds up. Our work is not done. There's still much to do. If you're pleased with our progress, join me in continuing to make Nassau County School District the very best it can be. We are winning, and we are Nassau.
Thank you, Dr. Burns. Mr. Wagner.
Good morning. I would like to thank Mrs. Duncan and the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this forum and an opportunity to share my platform to the business leaders of Nassau County. My name is Albert Wagner. I am a candidate for Superintendent of Schools. Some of you may know me as a teacher at Yulee Elementary School, but my background in education spans over 15 years, serving communities as a teacher, instructional coach, and school administrator. And with that experience comes new eyes and new ideas. I hold certifications in elementary education, school administration, and district administration. My campaign for Superintendent of Schools is about placing the educational growth of our individual students intellectually, socially, and emotionally above state test scores. My platform focuses on student growth, collaboration and innovation, and teacher retention. So what does that look like? What will I do differently as superintendent of Nassau Schools? Well, over the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of working with amazing colleagues. As superintendent, I will focus on the education of our children by bringing a cohesive, vetted curriculum to Nassau County for our teachers. By that, I mean making sure that our children in 5th grade at Yulee Elementary are using the same materials to learn as the students in 5th grade at Callahan Intermediate or Emma Love Elementary School. While the county will have shared materials, teachers will have the ability to design and facilitate lessons around their individual students. Like our students, our teachers are not one-dimensional. Students will have opportunities for hands-on learning in math and science, apply their reading and math skills to solve real-world situations, and develop their reading skills through authentic texts that engage and excite the students in reading. If we want our students to be humble, well-rounded, and well-prepared individuals when they leave our schools, we need to make sure that we are offering them a better selection of electives and enrichment courses while growing our career readiness program. Over the past year, Nassau County has tragically lost several of our students to suicide. This is why it is so important that we place a greater emphasis on developing an integrated behavioral health program that does more than just check the box. As superintendent, I will focus on bringing a program that grows with our students as they move from grade to grade and transform into young adults. I would like to see our counselors have more time dedicated to the mental well-being of our students and school leaders emphasizing the importance of our students' mental health. We would be more engaged in eliminating the stigma that goes along with mental health while being proactive and not reactive to the mental health of our students. It is easier to mend boys and girls than it is to mend adults. When it comes to communication, I stand for transparency and accountability. As superintendent, I will develop strong relationships by listening and talking to all stakeholders to gain perspective and information. Another example of the rewards for building relationships for our county is our career and technical training program. The experts in the legal community can help steer the direction of that program so local industries can have highly prepared young men and women to enter the workforce. These are just some of the examples of my vision for our school district. Instead of saying we are an A district, I want us to look beyond our county grade and say we can do better than what we are doing now. When a resume is presented to you, the business leaders of our county, I want you to be able to assume that this applicant is a humble, well-rounded, and well-prepared adult who can think outside the box. That the applicant will take all their training and apply it to solve the challenges that lie ahead because that person sits in front of you is from Nassau County School District.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Okay, guys, I think we're warmed up. We're used to the cameras, we're used to each other. Now we're just gonna have a little bit of a conversation. I've got several questions. As a reminder, again, 1.5 minutes to answer. Please do your best on that. Miss Regina will be holding the sign up. And so again, we're gonna start with Mr. Braddock in the hot seat.
Good.
What do you see as the primary role of superintendent? And this is a two-parter. How does that differ from a role of a member of the school board?
Well, you're a facilitator, you know, and it's a team and you listen. And you've got to sit back and, you know, you hash out what your problems are, and then you go and you meet and you try to work the problems out and go to the stakeholders and go to the parents or wherever the problem is, where it originates, go to the source of it, try to find out what the problem is, and then see if you can solve the problem.
Okay. Dr. Burns.
The superintendent sets the tone and the direction of the school district. They're the district leader. They must be a communicator, collaborator, also have focus on curriculum and instruction. You must be able to work together, be willing to work together with all stakeholders. But you are the leader. You set the tone and the direction of the school district. And I believe the second part of that question was, how is it different from
A member of the school
school
board.
board? So I look at the school board as a policy and procedures organization. So certainly they approve policies, procedures, budgets that are presented to them as a school board member.
Okay. Mr. Wagner, what do you view as the role of the superintendent versus the role of a school board member?
The superintendent does set the tone for the school district, but the superintendent is also the instructional leader of the school district. They need to focus on the development of the whole child intellectually, socially, and emotionally. The main focus of the superintendent is to make sure our students are safe. That's the #1 job of the superintendent. Beyond the safetiness is the instruction of the school and how the students are performing and how the materials that the teachers have are there for them to use in the classroom. The role of the school board is to set policy. You know, they're supposed to be the boss of the superintendent. In this role, it might be a little bit different because the superintendent is an elected official. But the school board is to question the superintendent, to make sure that the policies are in place are what are part of the goals that the school board set forth in the beginning of the year. They're to make sure that the superintendent is performing his or her duties to the best of their ability and for the best of our county.
Thank you very much. For this next question, we're going to put Dr. Burns on the hot seat first, and it's actually a kind of a follow-up to what Mr. Wagner said. And I only got to read the headline yesterday, so I didn't get all of the information regarding the Education Commissioner announcing that schools are going back full-time in August.
Correct.
So I'd like to hear all of you guys, starting with Dr. Burns. What are your thoughts and plan for addressing safety and health of our students? Obviously, what's in the forefront of all our minds right now is COVID, but beyond that, school security for potential violence, and you guys have also touched on the emotional well-being of our students as well.
So the social and emotional well-being of our students, I think, will be very important coming back to school. They've been out of school for over 5 months. And the commissioner did sign an executive order yesterday that said we will go back to school in August. We've increased safety measures on all of our campuses over the last few years as a result of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and we have not only safety measures, but also safety officers on every campus. I think we have to be more vigilant and continue to be safety-minded throughout our school district. The governor's executive order said that you're going to go back to school in August, and you must provide on-site, on-school campus instruction, as well as additional options. So that's what we're working towards. We rolled out an outline plan of how we're going to address health and safety on our campuses and going back to school. But keep in mind that we are building this plane, and it took off a while ago. So everybody throughout the state of Florida and in other places are working to create the best plans that they can. We established task force groups that we've been meeting with since the end of May that includes physicians in our community, because we know that the health and safety of our people is most important. So we are working closely with them. We're rolling out to our school board on Thursday our plan, our detailed plan for how we're going to come back to school. But the health and safety of our students is our top priority.
Mr. Wagner.
Thank you. So, you know, I don't think any school district was prepared for COVID-19. I don't think any business was prepared for COVID-19. With that said, we need to make sure that we have transparency and accountability in the development of a plan for the safety of our students and our teachers. We have teachers who are about to have babies, who are coming back into the classroom. I'm sure they have fears. We have teachers who are older, who are maybe more susceptible to COVID-19. We need to make sure that they are protected. Our staff and our students are our main priority. when we communicate our plan, we need to make sure it is transparent. We need to make sure the community knows who is on the task force. I don't know. We need to make sure what steps have they been taking. You know, a lot of districts have already submitted their plans, and we have seen them. But we have not seen a detailed plan yet from our district. And I just want to make sure that our communication and we are transparent in that plan and making sure that our students are safe. Dr. Burns talked about the social and emotional well-being. I hope that that's an important part, because it hasn't been an important part in the 2 years that I've been in Nassau School District.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Mr. Braddock.
Well, safety, of course. And we know this is something we've never, experienced before. Different districts are going to do different things. Starting back right now, who knows? Back in the old days, we'd come back after Labor Day. I don't know if this is a good thing. If it is, we need to have the options of, parents have the options of maybe staying online, just do the distance learning. We may have to go to a 3-day, 2-day model where we come Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. If we come back 5 days, we may have to do a little different with our busing. Busing is going to be a problem because as far as with the separation on the buses, actually transportation, we may have to do a split schedule where we run, 8 to 12 and 1 to 5. Things are going to be different, but it's nothing we can't handle. But it's changing. It's like I've said, it's like trying to wash a moving school bus. It's going to change every day, so we got to be flexible, and we got to be open to ideas. Different districts are doing different things. In Georgia, they're doing a Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, do a Thursday, Friday. Some are waiting whole 9 weeks just to do the distance learning. So, it's going to be different, and it's going to be a challenge.
Can I just add one thing based on the executive order? The commissioner said in his order, you will go to school. You will offer on-site learning 5 days a week. Now, some districts around us who had already developed their plans, and we all communicate on a regular basis, Duval is an example, they had an alternating schedule for their secondary students. Now they're going to have to go back to the drawing board and recreate their plan, because that executive order came out yesterday afternoon that we all received.
Since Dr. Burns followed up, would either of you like to
I think it's going to change weekly. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that, you have to be flexible. Look, I'm not going to criticize the actual plan itself, what Dr. Burns and the committee is developing, because I'm not a part of that committee. I don't have the insight that they have. I just want to make sure that we are transparent and we're communicating and we're accountable to the community members to make sure that everybody is safe.
Okay. And I do think we all agree that whatever the plan for any community is today is going to be different next week.
That's right.
Moving on. We're going to start with Mr. Wagner this time. What are some of what, in your mind, are 3 biggest successes of our school system, and maybe our 3 largest challenges?
So, the successes of our school district. Well, 1, we are an A-rated school district. And that is because of the hard work that our teachers put in every single day. 2, our career and technical program is growing. It is developing, and that is something that we should be proud of. 3, our rate of graduation is very high in our school district, and we should be very proud of that. Areas of concern that I would like to see addressed deal with student growth, intellectually, socially, and emotionally. The second area of concern I want to see is communication in regards to making sure we are working cooperatively and professionally with our union leaders. We are reaching out to our local businesses, and that we are showing a side of us that we are willing to work with others in a professional manner. Finally, the next one is teacher retention. Many say that teachers leave our district because they're not getting paid enough. And although, as Mr. Braddock pointed out, that is true, that's not the only reason. Teachers leave in the middle of the school year. Teachers are having nervous breakdowns because teachers are not feeling valued in the classroom.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Mr. Braddock.
One of the biggest successes, I believe, over the 33 years is just seeing productive citizens coming. I've seen parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. And when we see our students out and being successful and enjoying life, being productive and staying here in Nassau County, that to me is a reward. The challenges, I believe, is the budget. We're overspending and overtaxing. We can't be raising the taxes. We've got to stay within our budget. We've got a $200 million budget. We need to stay within our budget. The revision of the school schedule and the delays. We know that's going to, we already touched on that. We know that's going to be an option. Right now, though, I believe that parents need to have the option of online, a blended or a full day. I think we'll have to go back to that. And then the third thing is morale. We just need to reward our teachers with a living wage. We're losing teachers, like Ms. Burns said. We go all over the country recruiting teachers, but then they'll end up going to Charleston or Camden because they can make more money. We're 36 out of 67. We need to work on that. I think there's some areas where we've wasted some money and we can put that back toward our employees.
Thank you, Mr. Braddock. Dr. Burns.
We have much to celebrate in Nassau County School District. The one thing that we've worked hard on over the last 3 years is a collaborative, cooperative community in our learning communities and with our communities as a whole. We are an A-rated district, and that A rating is how everybody judges the school district. Mm-hmm. They judge your performance based on that A rating that is set. The perimeters are set by the state of Florida, and that is because of the hard work and dedication of every single employee in this district. We have over 1,800 employees, and every single person, from the bus driver to the classroom teacher to the leaders on the campus in our district, all make the difference every day. We have much to celebrate in the Nassau County School District. We have many challenges moving forward, and my priority list certainly has changed since March 13th. And number one on my list is that we have a safe and healthy return to school. This is something that no one has ever experienced before. And this is something that we're all having to work through. And there are many aspects of this. And we wanted to make sure that we cover every piece of the puzzle. That's why we started with a medical team, because we wanted to know from that aspect where we were going. Second is resource management. Managing our resources continues to be a challenge. And you can hear many people talk about many different things. But our state and local funding are about equal now. Our budget is $185 million. But let me just say that COVID-19 is going to turn that budget upside down as well, because all the things that we're going to have to do because of COVID-19 certainly will make a difference. Mr. Braddock mentioned counties in Georgia. The difference is the state legislature sets the salary schedule for teachers. That's what needs to happen everywhere. The teacher salaries are a priority from the White House to the schoolhouse. That would make a huge difference. The governor made a difference this year, and we hope that will continue.
Thank you. Back over to Mr. Braddock for our first answer to this would not be a Chamber of Commerce event if we didn't ask you what's the role of the Chamber of Commerce in the school system?
Well, the Chamber will come and stay involved, I hope, with all the campuses and interact with our students and parents, but we need to make a concentrated effort to provide with all graduates with the training. But I would like the Chamber to get a little more involved and with our employers here, with our timber, our tourists, and our teachers, our three largest employers. And I've said that if we can do a little better job of keeping our kids and get our chamber involved and expand our vocational and our technical programs, and with our pulp and paper. We started that several years ago out at the college, and it didn't seem to take off like we need to. We need to go back and revisit that. With our hotels and with the Ritz and the Omni, and with what we have here on the island with the tourists, we need to go back with hospitality and do a little bit better job of maybe training some of our students with hotel and restaurant management. We also need to recruit and keep our graduates here with and do a little better job of getting our graduates to stay here and come back and work for us here in the school system. And I'd like to see maybe an ED, like an Education Class 101, offered for beginning teachers, and try to recruit our own teachers and homegrown and keep them here in the county.
Okay.
I just have to follow up on that. We are growing our own. We now have a Paras to Pros program where our support employees in our district can earn their degree right here in Nassau County. We rolled that out last year. But the Chamber has been a partner with us for a long time in the school district. I believe as long as I've been involved in this school district, I will say. They always support our our annual teacher celebration, recognizing our teacher appreciation breakfast. We weren't able to do that this year, but I always know that the Chamber is available. I can reach out to Regina or anyone in the Chamber to get the support I need. I've reached out to her saying we need members of the Chamber to be on our task force. How can we get involved in this way or that way? But I believe that they're a resource that we know is available to us, and they're willing to support us in any way possible. Leadership at Nassau is another way that we partner with our community and our chambers. So I believe that partnership is there, and we continue to grow that.
Mr. Wagner.
Thank you. The Chamber of Commerce is important in regards to filling in the gaps that our school district is not able to do. You know, public schools are accountable for many things, and politicians just keep adding to the plate every single year of what we have to do. So we cannot address every single need in the school district, in our school system. Reaching out to Mrs. Duncan, reaching out to the Chamber to meet with small businesses that can fill in those gaps. I have been around the community during this campaign. I have spoken to small business owners who have the ability to help us out in our school district, but yet they are not being talked to, or if they do get a chance to talk to school leadership, they don't hear anything back from them. This is not how it should be. We should develop a positive and strong relationship with the local businesses in our community. We want to make sure that when our students are leaving our school district, that they are ready for the careers within the community. And those leaders in our community can help guide and direct our career and technical program as well.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Okay, our final question. We're going to be starting with Dr. Burns, and I'm going to use the moderator's prerogative and give you guys 2 minutes to answer this, since we are using it as our wrap-up question. And the question is this: why are you the best candidate for this position? Dr. Burns.
As a mother, as a teacher, as a Nassau County community member, I've dedicated my entire career to education, the success of our schools, and the improvement of our schools. I believe that our track record over the last 4 years speaks for itself. I believe we've done great work. We have much work to do, and I believe we need to continue on the path we're on. We're in a critical time in education as well as our communities with COVID-19, with the changes that are being made. What COVID-19 did for all of us, I believe, is it has accelerated us into using more technology and providing more options to students. So we have to be prepared, and we have to be on the ground doing the work so that we are ready for what's coming ahead. I believe that my experience over the last 4 years, the successes we've celebrated, that we can continue to build on that and make Nassau County greater every day.
Thank you. Mr. Wagner.
You know, I started to think about running for superintendent of schools back in September October of last year. When I went to an administrator and I asked them about developing science lessons and science experiments in the classroom, and he looked at me and he said, "Mr. Wagner, let's get our FSA scores up and then we will worry about science experiments." I hope you have learned that that is a direct contrast of what I believe in. I believe that students should have hands-on learning experiences. I believe that students should have rich literature in their reading program. I believe students should apply their new math skills to solve real-world situations. I believe in the mental health of our students. And I don't hear any candidate talking about our students and the instruction they receive in the classroom. That is the primary job of the superintendent. Yes, we need to worry about the millage and we need to worry about how we're spending our money. But as superintendent, I will make sure that we have heads of departments that are more than qualified to address the concerns that are needed in the district. We will work together in a cooperative manner to address these concerns. Again, I have a diverse background. I was not raised in Nassau County. I did not work my entire career in Nassau County. So I bring new eyes and new ideas to the current problems that we are facing. And I believe if we work together, we can get through anything.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Mr. Braddock.
As I said on my card here, experience counts. I've lived in Nassau County my entire life. I see that as a positive. I know the heartbeat of the county. I've worked at the district office for 4 years. I was at Hilliard for 17, Callahan for 12. I had a business in Yulee, still do. I know the county, I know the heartbeat, and I know what we need. It comes down to communication with the folks and getting out. And I talk to students every day. I was a principal and a director for 20 years. I wasn't a sit behind the desk administrator. I managed by walking around. I get out and I see it. You can ask any parent or any student. Mr. B was there if they needed him. I had an open door policy. I still do, and I'll have an open door policy as superintendent. I won't be on the office in front of you, and I'll be at the 16 schools. There's only 4 schools on the island, 12 off. So I'll be around the county. And I appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Braddock. I would like to thank all of you guys, all our candidates, Mr. Dale Braddock, Dr. Kathy Burns, Mr. Albert Wagner. Thank you guys for coming out here. I know it's a little bit different than when you get to speak with folks, but I think we got your message out for you, and thank you guys for putting yourselves out there.
Thank you for having us.
And I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you'd like to learn more about these candidates, you can go to our website, NassauCountyFLChamber.com, NassauCountyFLChamber.com, where we have answers from all of our candidates regarding a wide variety of topics, not just what we spoke about here. And stay tuned. Our next forum will be Supervisor of Election, followed by Board of County Commissioners, school board members, and then later this summer, we'll do our municipal elections. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Good job, Sean.